We're back here from the Cherry and White game on this April 20th, 2013. Zach Gelb and Ray Boyd here with you from Edberg Olson Hall. And now joining us is a man that's gone on to do big things in the NFL, playing for the Chicago Bears this year, and that's Steve Maneri. Steve, how you doing?
Great, man. It's good to be back here on Temple's campus. Good to be on the show right now.
Well, thank you for coming on, and it's great to have you here today. But Al Golden, you were here when he was the head coach here, and now Matt Rule, who's one of his assistants, is the man in charge. How much did Al Golden mean to the success of this program, or where they're going to be next year?
He was huge. Golden, when his team, when we first got here, that's what we became. When I graduated, it's carried on to the success of the team the past 3 or 4 years. Golden's meant a tremendous amount to this organization, and we're all grateful for it. And the guys that came in that 06 class, we call us the Golden Boys, we take great pride in turning this program around.
What do you think Matt Rule brings to the table? What do you think he's going to bring to this team as the next head football coach?
Definitely passion. I think passion is one of
his staples in his personality, and he's an excellent people person, and he'll give anything to win, and that's one thing there. When there was a vacancy, where a lot of us players pushed for him to become the head coach because we think with him we can win here, and I think he's here for the long haul. I think it's not a one-stop for him. He loves Philadelphia. His wife works in the university, and we're really excited that he's the coach, and it's good to be home.
From a player's perspective, how important is that to know that your coach is committed for the long haul and that he's going to be around? This isn't, some people have kind of talked about Temple getting that reputation as the one stop. You come, you prove yourself. But for a player, how important is that to know your coach has that kind of commitment?
I think it's more important for recruits coming in. When you develop a relationship with a coach and you come into a team and you're choosing between different schools, you want to know that that coach is going to be there when you're graduating, and you're not going to go through 2 or 3 coaches in your time. And I think for everybody coming into Temple in the next couple of years, you have to know that Coach Rule's a Philly guy. I mean, he went to Penn State, but he's a Philly guy, a local, loves this area, loves Philadelphia. His wife works university, and I mean, what we've done here, we're sitting right now on the 3rd floor of the rooftop of Edberg Olson, and it's about twice the size it was before I got here, and it's great for the organization for recruits to know that come here, and Rule will be here until you graduate.
And let's just say if Matt Rule came up to you and said, "Hey, Steve, can you talk to one of our tight ends that we're trying to recruit there?" What would be your pitch? Why should a recruit come to Temple University?
I don't know if that's legal, but if it is, my pitch would be, I had the best 4 years of my life here, and you can too. And what I learned here, I came in at 220 pounds, running a 4.9. I had no business in the NFL, but what Coach Rule, Coach Foley, and Coach Golden taught me when I was here, it's got me. This is my 4th year in the NFL now. I like to say I'm on overtime, And what they did for me here is I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And I'd also have to imagine, though, you see so many guys now from Temple in the NFL, whether it's Rod Streeter out there in Oakland, Bernard Pierce just won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, you have Muhammad Wilkerson causing havoc for the New York Jets, you're even playing with the Temple guy as well, and I would just have to imagine you seeing the development of this program from when you came in to where it's now, that's pretty incredible to you.
I mean, this is my 4th stop in the NFL in as many years. And just to come into a locker room and see, my locker's right next to Derek Dennis, who was a lineman here for 3 years with me, and then Evan Rodriguez on the team too. It's great to have connections all over the league with guys that went to Temple. I mean, I was on the Chiefs last year. We played Streeter and the Raiders twice, and then I didn't play with him at Temple, but we had that connection. We talked on the field, and it's good to have that throughout the league, and it's huge for Temple. I mean, we got Owls everywhere in the NFL.
We've been talking a little bit about the Owls in terms of the offense. Matt Rule has talked about that. He wants to be dedicated to the passing game and get away from that run on every down sort of mentality. Can you talk about the importance of the tight end position to being able to do that? We're seeing now in the NFL, a lot of teams are really relying on the tight end. You look at what the Patriots do with their tight ends. How important is it going to be to develop a good tight end core if they're going to be able to successfully transition into more of a passing style?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, you look in the NFL now, and there's guys like Rob Gronkowski and Jimmy Graham who are
athletic freaks.
Yeah.
Athletic freaks who are focal points of the offense. As we're watching this game right now, number 84 just had the tight end. What's his name?
Roman Deloche.
Roman Deloche just had a 20-yard catch as a tight end, so I just want to point that out there. It's huge. I mean, a tight end in an offense, when you have a tight end that could run routes and catch the ball, and linebackers can't cover those kind of guys, and you set up disadvantages all over the field.
Steve Maneri joins us right here from Edinburgh Olson Hall. And Steve, a few more questions right before we let you go. You played a little bit of offensive line in the NFL in your earlier days, and you see a guy like Cody Booth. He's making the opposite transition that you made. He's going from tight end to offensive tackle. What advice would you give for him about making that switch and playing offensive line now?
Well, it's actually not the opposite because I did the same thing. I was a tight end in college,
where were you?
and I became a tackle. So I went through the same thing he's going through, and the hardest part is eating. I mean, he's about 275 now, and when he came in, he was also about 220. I remember seeing him as a freshman when I was a senior. And I'm watching his kick slide, and there's definitely a work in progress. And he's got some work to do, but he's embracing it, and he wants to help the team, and he wants to be a leader in this team. And I think he's gonna do fine.
You were with the Chiefs last year. We'll only ask you 2 more questions right before we let you go. I know it's windy up here, but you went from the Chiefs last year, and now you're signed on with the Chicago Bears. What stood out to you with the Bears as you're going to the Windy City?
What stood out to me was we're a 10-6 program last year. There's a ton of talent on the team. I've talked to the coaches about their philosophy, and it's something that I really fit in. You know, we're gonna run the ball, we're gonna control the line of scrimmage, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in. It's a great city. I got some guys on my team, like I said, Derek, and I got also a cousin on the team, Blake Costanzo. It was a great opportunity for me, and they wanted me. And what's important in the NFL is you got to go where you're wanted, and they made sure that they let me know that they wanted me, and I ended up there, and I'm happy about it, and I'm really excited about the season.
And real quick here, right before we let you run, your quarterback, Jay Cutler, he's had some criticism over the years about his toughness, and I think he's a tough quarterback. I don't think he gets a fair shake by a lot of the national media, but what has been your relationship so far with Jay Cutler?
He's been an awesome guy. I mean, he's got a hell of an arm, and we did a mini camp this week, so we haven't done much, but we had 3 practices, and he's made some throws that were unbelievable, and I'm excited to have him, and he seems like a great guy. So I don't know the criticisms. I mean, I wasn't on the Bears last year, but there's criticisms for a lot of unnecessary criticism in the NFL. It's just a part of the game, and I'm used to it. So,
well, Steve, we really appreciate the time. Good to see you.
Okay, yeah, good to be on, Zach.
We'll take a quick break from Edinburgh Olson Hall, and we'll be back right after these short messages.